In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My name is Kenny Bomer, and this is the Ask a Muslim series, where we're addressing the top 50 questions about Islam. Question number 26. Was Islam spread by the sword? Some people claim that Islam would not have millions of adherents all over the world if it had not been spread by military force. Many school textbooks contain the picture of an Arab on horseback with the Quran in one hand and a sword in another, symbolizing forcible conversion to the religion. It has never been permitted to compel people to enter Islam by the use of weapons or any other means. If Islam was spread by the sword, then it was the sword of intellect and convincing arguments, the inherent force of truth and reason, logic, something which conquers the hearts and minds of people everywhere, and not the sword itself. Far from being spread by the sword, Islam has always accorded respect and freedom of choice to people of all faiths. The Quran states in chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 256, there should be no compulsion in religion. Let the right course become clear from the wrong. And to invite to the way of your Lord with wisdom and kind words, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious. The facts speak for themselves. Indonesia, by example, has the largest number of Muslims in the world, and the majority of people in Malaysia are Muslims. But no Muslim army ever went into Indonesia or Malaysia. However, Muslim traders and educators carried the message of Islam to those regions and impressed people as outstanding models of honesty and morality. Islam spread rapidly on the east coast of Africa, although no Muslim army was ever dispatched to East Africa. Despite the disappearance of Islamic rule from many regions of Asia and Africa, their people have remained Muslims. And this shows that the effect of Islam is one of approval and moral conviction, quite in contrast to that of the Western colonial occupation, which left its formerly subjugated peoples with painful memories of exploitation, affliction, and oppression. Furthermore, Muslims ruled Spain for over 800 years, and it's a documented and historical fact that during that period, Christians and Jews enjoyed freedom to practice their respective religions in peace. But thereafter, under Christian Spain, both Muslims and Jews were subjected to tribunals of the Inquisition and torture. Historically, there was no sword of Islam held over non-Muslim minorities in Muslim countries. And until fairly recently, Christian and Jewish minorities have lived peacefully with their Muslim neighbors in the Middle East. And the sectarian animosity of recent times has been stirred up largely by political injustices rather than matters of religion. Islamic law protects the status of minorities, and in many countries one can find places of worship belonging to other faiths. Islamic law also allows non-Muslim minorities to set up their own courts in order to implement family laws drawn up by the minorities themselves. The lives and properties of all citizens, of whatever religion, must be safeguarded by Islamic governments. Furthermore, Muslims ruled India for 800 years, during which they possessed enough power and authority to force all the people to convert to Islam. But they did not do so, and thus, more than 80% of the population remains non-Muslim. Worldwide statistics for the period from 1934 to 1984 show that adherence to Islam has increased by 235%, while adherence to Christianity has decreased by 47%. There was obviously no Islamic conquest during that 50-year period. And lastly, the fastest growing religion in America and Europe today and all across the world is Islam, in spite of the fact that Muslims in these lands are still small minorities in most of these places. The only sword used to spread Islam has been the sword of truth. Again, my name is Kenny Bomer, and this is the Ask a Muslim series, where we're addressing the top 50 questions about Islam. Thank you for listening.